Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are going to make a peekaboo puppy card. And this card is for a hop over on Instagram for farm friends. And I will post the details in the comments below if you're interested in, or in the description box below if you're interested in joining us over on Instagram. All right, so to the card. This card was inspired by a puppy ears card that I found on Instagram by Crafts, and I will also leave a link to her tutorial in the description below. Like I said, I loosely followed her description or her demonstration for it, and I put my own spin on it because I wanted to have my own, take on it and use supplies more so than she did. She has a printable PDF available that you can find on her blog to make your own exactly like she has it. I decided to put my own spin on it, but this is what we're doing. We're cutting out all the pieces. This part that I'm doing right now is 4 inches wide, and I will put all the dimensions that I used for the cardstock. And this is making essentially an A2 size card, but because the tongue sticks out past the bottom of the card, the envelope will need to be bigger. I just use a bigger envelope, and it works out well. And in case you can't tell by the description picture, I did kind of model my dog after a famous dog from a toddler's television show. And right now we are going to draw the nose. Yes, I Googled what the nose looked like on this famous dog that is pink, and she has a friend that is blue, and they solve mysteries. Yes. So hopefully if you have toddlers or grandchildren or something, you will know. I decided to use ginormous googly eyes, and the background that I found most common on the internet for this show was a yellow background with like white dots on it. So that's what I did. I took this yellow cardstock and I put some dots of the Whisper White. It's Unicorn White from Hero Arts on it. And this is 5.5 by 5 3/4, I believe, and it's scored at 3/4 of an inch on the 5 3/4 side. All right, so this, I did not film the part where I used my magical trimmer trick to be able to do that partial cutting, but basically I just flipped it over, cut it to where I needed it to be cut, flipped it over to the other side. All right, and now we are putting a slit in the middle of the yellow cardstock, and you see that piece of pink cardstock I'm holding over the ruler ever so scientifically for my dimensions? That is the slit where the tongue is going to go to make the puppy do peekaboo. So you got to make sure that the tongue fits, and then now I'm going to draw the ears for the puppy. She has more like straightish ears for her puppy in the tutorial, but I wanted to make these look more like Magenta, and Magenta's ears are very poofy at the bottom, like they almost touch each other. And my daughter has a Magenta stuffy, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to copy the stuffy. And I will put dimensions and stuff down in the description box below of what I did. Or you can use the link that I will leave for Larissa's tutorial and follow that if that makes it easier for you. But I freehand drew the ears because I wanted them to look like Magentas. And we are going to cut them out and then make sure that we erase all the lines that I drew from my pencil marks, because I had to make sure I liked how they looked, because, when my daughter gets home from school, I want to see if she knows who this is. Hopefully she does, because, yeah, if I do this and it doesn't look like Magenta, I'll be sad. All right, so I erased all the lines. And now we're going to die cut some ovals in here because Magenta has some spots that are like a darker pinkish purple, and we're going to use raspberry preserves, or seedless preserves, sorry, not raspberry. And this is a Post-it note that I die cut, so it will stick in place while I do my spots. And we're just going to make some random spots on the ears because that's kind of how Magenta is. And I think it's cute. Cute, cute, cute. Yeah. I love it. It's turning out so cute. And you see at the top there, I did kind of make two score lines, or like one score line apart from each other. That's so that when it folds, the ears fold over, they can kind of like sit in that groove. And now we're going to attach the tongue right there in the middle. And I'm going to line that up with the lines on my board or my cutting mat so I can make sure that it's straight. And here we are putting the dots on the background for the puppy. And since this is white pigment ink, I'm going to leave it for a little while and make sure that it dries because it smudges really easy if it doesn't dry. So we're going to leave it for a little bit after we put these dots on. My finger dauber thing there is really, really old and kind of dried out. I'm amazed it actually worked to transfer the ink, but it worked pretty well. I'm a fan. That's really the best white pigment ink I've ever used. All right, so yeah, we got to let that dry. And apparently it took me way too long to do a couple of white dots. And then we're going to glue this bottom half circle. This is supposed to be like the dog's body. And then you stick the tongue through. Nope, not that way. You're supposed to stick it through the other way. What am I doing? There we go. Stick it through the back. And then you got to bend the ears down over the front and see the folded parts are there on the outside of the ears. That's how it's supposed to be. And then when you glue that part down on the front, because the tongue has to be there, you only glue the sides like 3/4 of the way down and the top. And you line it up right there so that the background does not show. And we let this dry before we mess around with it too. And then you got to test it out to make sure it works. Because you don't want to go any further. Got to fold those little ears. They're looking how cute. Look how cute they look. Adorable. All right, and at this point, I put the eyes on. In hindsight, because I was using Googly eyes, not paper eyes, I should have done the eyes in the very last step. I did adhere the eyes with glue dots because I didn't want to use a ton of liquid adhesive, because I feel like with Googly eyes, it kind of like the liquid adhesive doesn't like to set up really quick. So glue dots or another like tape, like double-sided tape, is probably the best for the back of the eyes, so that it stays put. But yes, in hindsight, if I do this card again, I will put the eyes on last because oh, and I'm seeing now that they're not even level. Oopsie. I didn't notice that when I was assembling it. And we're going to do the nose, but I realized that the nose was like not a color I liked. So then I just did seedless preserves over it, and now it looks perfect. All right, next step. We got to stamp the pull here from the Lawn Fawn push here stamp set. And this is where the eyes start getting in the way because they are popping up past the top of the Misty. So I'm afraid I'm going to like break the lid of the Misty when I stamp down. And we still have to stamp happy birthday on the ears of the puppy. So this is posing a problem here. And it's my own fault because I should have left the ears off for last. This is the scrapbook.com Handmade Essentials stamp set, and I've had it for years. I think they still have it available. But yeah, it's got some great little sentiments, and I love that the word happy and the birthday are separate stamps. And we are using Versamark or VersaFine Onyx Black ink, which is my favorite for sentiments. All right, so the little flaps on the back of the puppy thing, the back of the puppy background, we're going to put glue on just the flaps. You don't want to put it on the inside of that. And make sure your card base is facing the correct direction so that it will open the right way. And I'm being very careful here to make sure it goes the correct direction. And this is also another spot that your eyes are posing a problem because they're making it so it's hard to hold this down. But aren't they cute? The eyes are adorable. I love the eyes. They're just kind of a pain that I should have put on after I was done with all the things. All right. So there's that. We're going to let that dry. And then to finish it off, you have to take that little flap and you have to glue it to the inside of your card. Now, this is a trick that I learned from Jennifer McGuire. Now, because you have to have that little flap on the inside of the card, Jennifer McGuire is a big fan of not letting your cards look unfinished. Like, she likes to do both sides of all the things to make it look finished. So I cut that panel there on the left to a little bit smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it will fit nicely inside of the card front. And there we have it. And it just gives a little more extra weight to the card. And here it is working. Look at that. I love it. Let me know if you would make this card in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and see you again soon. Bye.